Welcome to the Good Life Fantasy Sports Week 2 wide receiver rankings. We're going to break down the top 35 wide receivers of Week 2. Now let's get to it. Number 35, we have Keenan Allen. He showed last week that he still has that connection with Justin Herbert, and he still has some left in the tank. He should get 5 to 6 opportunities, probably 5 receptions, and possibility at a touchdown against the Raiders. Number 34, I have Jameson Williams. We'll see if he can break a long one this week. I have number 33, Jerry Jeudy. He should get lots of opportunities to get some catches as the Cleveland Browns try to come back against the Baltimore Ravens. Hopefully get some good garbage time. Number 32, we have Calvin Ridley going against the LA Rams. He had a stinker last week, and we'll see if his chemistry with the struggling Cam Ward picks up and they can have a better game. Number 31, we have George Pickens going against the New York Giants. He didn't do a whole lot in his debut with the Cowboys last week, so we'll see if he can step up this week. Number 30, we have Ricky Pearsall going against the New Orleans Saints. He should get some opportunities now with George Kittle injured, but unfortunately he has Mac Jones throwing him the ball, so that will limit his upside. Number 29, we have Hollywood Brown going against the Eagles. Also an honorable mention to Juju Smith-Schuster, who is a great pickup this week if you need help at wide receiver. He's probably would be number 36 to 40 range for me, but him and Brown could easily be swapped. We'll have to see how they use them. With Xavier Worthy going out, Hollywood Brown is looking like the featured wide receiver, although Kelsey will probably be the number one. Number 28, we have Rome Odunze. I'm almost ready to put him as the wide receiver one on the Bears. He had a much better game than DJ Moore and just looked much better than him on the field. If he continues that this week, then I will start swapping them in my rankings most likely. But he looks like he could have a breakout season this year. 27, I have Jacoby Myers going against the Chargers. 26, I have Devontae Smith going against the Chiefs. He's kind of a boom or bust guy at this point. 25, Terry McLaurin going against the Packers. 24, I have Ted McMillan against the Cardinals. With Bryce Young struggling as his quarterback, there's just tough to rate him too high at this point. As we mentioned before, DJ Moore, he comes in at 23, but if he doesn't outperform Odunze here, I'll probably have to start swapping them. Emeka Ubaka comes in at number 22. Igbuka. Sorry, it's going to take me a bit to get used to saying that on the fly. He's in at 22. He had a great debut game last week, and he'll be flying up the rankings at this rate. But we'll see how he does against the Houston Texans defense. He'll step up in competition defensive-wise. Tyreek Hill comes in at 21 against the Patriots. He didn't do much on the field, but he is very vocal on the sidelines. I could see them. They have to be better than they were last week, the Miami Dolphins, and they'll try to get him more involved this week, even though he does have some question marks due to some domestic violence concerns that came up. But I can see the Dolphins trying to get him involved this week more. Devontae Adams in at number 20. DK Metcalf at 19. Zay Flowers broke out with a huge game at number 18. He finished last year right on the border of a wide receiver 2. This year he very well could be right on the border of a wide receiver 1, finish around that 11 to 13 range if this pick keeps up like this. Number 17, Mike Evans against that Houston Texan defense. 16, Cortland Sutton. I had to drop him a tiny bit just because Bo Nix, he might be going into a sophomore slump, it looks like, based on last week, but hopefully it was just one rough Russ game. T. Higgins at number 15. against a easy Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Cincinnati's offense should eat. Marvin Harrison Jr. comes in at number 14 against a bad Carolina Panthers defense where the Cardinals should eat. A.J. Brown at number 13 after he laid a terrible game, was a goose egg till very late in the game. They finally gave him a reception. I could see after basically he did nothing last week that Philly gets him involved early and often just because of how much of a ghost he was last week. Garrett Wilson showed his chemistry with Justin Fields last week. He comes in at number 12 in what should be a high-scoring game against the Bills. And he showed he's still a number one receiver even with Justin Fields as his quarterback when he's engaged. So, number 11, Drake London. You just got to watch out for his injury concerns. He got banged up last week, but if he plays, he should be right on the edge of a wide receiver 1. I got him at number 11. Ladd McConkey at number 10 against the Raiders. Jackson Smith-Njigba comes in at number 9. See, Sam Darnold should pepper him with more targets, but it's a very tough matchup. So he comes in at number 9. Number 8, Ryan Thomas. He plays the Bengals this week and their bad defense. We'll see how much Travis Hunter gets involved this week. I know they said they wanted to play him more at cornerback this week, so his offensive routes might take a little bit of a hit, so maybe that leads to Thomas getting more opportunities. Malik Neighbors at number 7 going against the Cowboys. Cowboys just shut down the Eagles wide receivers, so Neighbors is down to number 7. We'll see. Russell Wilson, not a great debut with the Giants. We'll see if Jackson Dart gets an opportunity at some point here in the next few weeks, but for right now, it's still Russell Wilson. Amon St. Brown comes in at number 6. Puka Nacua at number 5. Tough Tennessee defense, but Puka is amazing. So Nico Collins at number 4 against Tampa Bay in what I could see a little bit higher scoring game. Justin Jefferson, even with J.J. McCarthy struggling in the first 3 quarters last week, he still came up with a touchdown, had a decent game. McCarthy got the nerves out in the 4th quarter and had a huge game in the 4th, and I could see him turning that into a much better game for the whole entire game this week. So Jefferson comes in at number 3. Jamar Chase comes in at number 2. And CeeDee Lamb is my number 1 ranked receiver for week number 2. After all the drops he had last week, he had a great game even with those drops, around 18 fantasy points or so. So when their team plane arrived back in Dallas, he was immediately like first person on the field taking catches from the machine, and I think he's going to have a huge game this week to make up for all those drops. So he's my number 1 receiver for this week. And thanks for checking out Good Life Fantasy Sports. This week's wide receiver 2 top 35 rankings. Please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's much appreciated. And we will see you on the next one.